So I need to know what has happened that has led to Dr. Heavenly announcing that she will no longer be doing her Married to Medicine videos on the YouTube. Now, listen, y'all, if you are a lover of reality television and reality TV related content, go ahead and subscribe to this channel and smash that like button on this video right when you come on into the room. Okay. So we can keep that engagement going and flowing and get all the good things. Let's talk about Dr. Heavenly. All right. So this morning I had class this morning from like 10 to 12. So I was like, I'm checking my Instagram when I woke up and I was like, oh, snap. And this is like the first thing I see. It says, it's a tweet from Dr. Heavenly that says, I hate to announce I will no longer review hashtag married to medicine on YouTube. They done told on me. And my man said I had to get off. However, Boopies can catch Dr. Heavenly on patreon.com slash Dr. Heavenly. Well, excuse me, slash Dr. underscore Heavenly. That's important. If you do not use the underscore, it will not pop up. She says, hashtag they told on me, hashtag well trained, hashtag if there's a will, there's a way. And so for me, I was like, now say what now? Because upon first glance, when you look at this, you're kind of like, well, she can't do them on YouTube. So she's going to go over to the Patreon, correct? So I'm like, I go, the YouTube page is still there, just so you guys, are aware. The YouTube page is still there. Thus far, the reviews for the show are still up there. So there has been no change to that. So I'm kind of like forced to sort of piece together these clues. Now, before I get to the breaking down this tweet, because what I did was I went through the comments to see like how she explained this. And she really didn't give, in my opinion, as much context as I feel like what she could have, right? Well, let's actually do it now. She's not gonna review it on YouTube, but she is gonna review it on Patreon. So what is the difference, right? So a lot of times people feel like Patreon is kind of like a paid version or an extension of a brand, right? So it could be that you have extra material, kind of like the memberships on YouTube, but you could do it on Patreon because you have a little bit more flexibility to do things on Patreon than you do on YouTube as per YouTube standards and guidelines. So, but you make money in a different way on Patreon. So a lot of people were assuming that perhaps you had to pay to watch these reviews, right? But you don't. So you can actually clearly just watch them here, right? You can technically join for free, but in terms of your membership, you have to pay about $5 for Married to Medicine exclusives, vlogs, and gossip. All right. Then you pay, or you can pay $5 for business, money, and relationships. And then you can get all access, which also includes non-dental content, for $10. So I guess you could just sort of determine which tier you want to get. I mean, I'm not mad at it because I just kind of feel like, it's a great way to own your content further, as well as, I mean, it's a good business model, right? But with all the streaming services that people have, a lot of people may feel like I don't want to have to pay for another one. But I do think for me, I'm going to pay for it simply because it's part of my job. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mind paying for it, but I know not everybody will. But the question is, that's to me is not the important thing here. The important thing, I mean, listen, the cost may be prohibitive to some people, so that is important. I'm not downplaying that. What I am saying is, for me, I'm trying to understand it's not like she's not going to be reviewing the show. So she's still going to be reviewing the show. It just won't be on YouTube. So it will be on a paid platform. So to me, I guess I just don't understand it, because I'm like, they told on you. It seems like if they told on you, that you wouldn't be able to do the reviews at all. Right. And so if her man said she had to get off YouTube, I guess what is the difference between YouTube and Patreon other than YouTube has ads on it? And that's how content creators get paid. So in my opinion, and granted, maybe she can say more on the paid version, but I don't understand. I guess I don't really get it, unless she just wanted to move over to a different platform, in which case I feel like she could just go ahead and say that, right? Because it's not like she's gonna stop. That's my thing. It's just that she's not gonna be doing it on YouTube. So she's still gonna be doing it. It's just going to be on YouTube. It's just going to be on a different platform, for which now I have to pay to get the information to report it back to y'all. Okay. So I don't know. Listen, again, I'm not hating on anybody's hustle. I feel like however you got to do it, do it. I don't really think she needs the money, so I don't really think it's that. But I am wondering, what is the main difference between what you think you're going to be able to do on Patreon and what you're already able to do on YouTube? If the problem is the content, you're still doing the same content. I guess that's my question. So I don't know. You guys let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. And hopefully, this coming week, we'll be able to get some extra context as to why. All right. So let's go on another Married to Medicine rampage, because we need to talk about this clip that's floating around the interwebs. So here's the thing. We're going to see at the reunion, and this is a spoiler alert for anybody who doesn't want to see any of the content that's going to be happening on the reunion. I know that a lot of times people feel a certain type of way about not getting a spoiler alert, and here you go. So anyway, let's get into it. So this clip basically is of Dr. Heavenly revealing that she told Quad that the ladies thought that Quad might have had something to do with that resurfaced video of Dr. Jackie and Dr. Heavenly's live. And in case you don't recall, this is the live right here, where Dr. Jackie basically talked about Black women being dramatic and crying wolf during their pregnancy, and saying that it's hard to believe that there's a true problem when there is a true problem. So it's kind of that clip right there is what we're talking about. So a lot of people were feeling like Quad has something to do with it. Now, even Dr. Heavenly says she called Quad and asked her, because it was seemingly going around the group that Quad has something to do with that piece of content making its way back around, right? And I think that, personally speaking, it is such a lazy way to further the narrative that Quad is this diabolical genius who is, as they say, only there for the check, which that part could or could not be true based on what she said, and based on what a lot of y'all said in the comments. Y'all understand it. Y'all was like, yeah, child, tell them that tell your employers you're only there for the check. So, I mean, apparently it's okay. But again, my thought is, this does not seem like something that Quad would do, to be sitting around going back through, the archives. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't see Quad doing that, right? Because for me, it's like that would be something more along the lines of, a content creator, somebody who is invested in creating content around the channel. I just can't see Quad I don't see Quad watching Dr. Heavenly's YouTubes, unless somebody probably sends it to her. But she could be, because she's been on there before. And the girls be upset every time Dr. Heavenly does a YouTube, hence the reason why she got to go on the Patreon now. But I guess my thought is, I just can't see Quad coming up with some way of doing that, right? Like, just to do it out of spite. I just don't see that. I see the clip naturally resurfacing, period. Specifically because of the context for which Dr. Jackie was speaking, which was maternal mortality rates. And the episode of her doing that just so happened to coincide with them kicking Quad to the curb. I guess it was the week before. So for me, or that same episode, I can't remember, to be honest with you. So I don't see Quad doing that. If anything, I just see that it is an instance where the ladies and the network have put Dr. Jackie on a pedestal, and people found a piece of information or content that came into direct contrast with what Dr. Jackie was speaking about. And I think that the timing of it is just a natural occurrence simply because of that conversation. So, if anybody, I think that if Quad were to be upset about anybody, it would have been more so Dr. Simone or Toya, for whom it was Dr. Simone likely speaking on behalf of Toya, maybe, I don't know, allegedly, because according to Dr. Heavenly's one of her recent lives, she confirmed that Dr. Simone said something to the effect of, not wanting to go against Toya. She confirmed it. Quad said it, and I believe it. So if there were somebody that I felt like Quad would want to maybe get back at, it would be probably the two of them. Dr. Jackie just doesn't seem like the likely suspect to me. But that's just my thoughts, my opinions. I'm not saying that Quad is perfect in this situation, but I'm just saying I don't see her going back and then digging up that information. I see that more as people who are most likely going to be affected by that information or could be affected by it, presenting that as like, wait a minute, you just talked about this, but back then you said this, right? So I don't really know. We would have to, Quad denies it. So, it is what it is. But I just kind of feel like, they just want to try to find any way to keep Quad out of the mix. Whether they, and whether you like her or not, y'all let me know y'all thoughts in the comment section down below. I'd be very, very interested in hearing it. And with that being said, y'all know I love y'all, and I will catch y'all in the next video.